Good evening. Welcome to Boss Up Academy, where we give you all your stimulus, business, and real estate investing tips and strategies to help you turn this pandemic into a bandemic. So we're going to go ahead, and tonight we are talking about how to purchase properties using your LLC or whatever entity you have. And you remember, we learned this through PPP that you can be a sole proprietor and have a business and use your personal social security number under your personal name. So while Facebook and IG and these different platforms build our audience, stay tuned. Okay, good evening. So we're going to start off with telling you that you can get it with an LLC. Most people have an LLC for their real estate business. We're talking about non-owner occupant properties. We're talking about where you don't need any tax returns. You don't need any tax returns, and you don't need any pay stubs. It is according to the property. It is property specific. The property is the collateral. So there are three major types of loans, three of the biggest ones that are done for these types of deals. There's called a 1-year bridge, a 2-year bridge, and a 30-year rental. So we're going to go over the 1 year, we're going to go over the bridge loans first. The bridge loans, there is no minimum credit score. That means you can have a 400 credit score and still do this deal. There is no minimum credit score. But what does it do to affect the loan? They're going to go off of the property. Remember, this is an investment. So they're going to go off of the property solely. Now, the lower your credit score is, the lower LTV, that means loan to value, that they're going to do. That means that, say, if you had a 700 credit score, they would give you 90% of the value. But if your credit score is in the dumps, then they may only give you 65%. So, for example, on $100,000, hey, everybody, on $100,000 loan, then if the loan to value, if you got a 700 credit score, then you might be looking at 90,000. But if somebody has a really bad credit score, then they may only be able to get 65,000. So it's based on your credit score, but does it ever show on your credit report? No. They are going to check your credit for the sole purpose to make sure that you can't be in active bankruptcy. They want to make sure that you, even though you may have some collections and different things like that, because remember, you can put the property in your entity name. So if you got ABC LLC, that's the property that they're going to put. Because, and the reason that they're doing this is because they can foreclose easier or get the property back easier from a entity than they can a person. So the individual. So that's why they want you to put it in the entity name in case you default. But again, you don't need any pay stubs. You don't need any tax returns. You do need a bank statement to show that you have the money for a down payment. And remember, they can do up to 90% loan to value. But if you join our coaching program, I'll show you how to do it with no money down. That's the secret. But just for the general purposes or the general public that want to just do these loans, we can assist you with those loans. I'm going to drop in the comments when I finish this video the link if you want to start the loan application. How fast can we close these loans? We can close them in 30 days or less. The thing that's taken the longest time is the title work and the appraisal. And some do not require a full appraisal. Some of the deals we can do what they call an evaluation, or we can do what they call a BPO, which is a broker price opinion, to get the value on the property. So the first kind of loan is a bridge loan. That means that in 1 year, that loan will be due in full. But the good thing about this loan is that you can get money to fix up the property. So say the property needs $50,000 worth of work. We can get you 100% of the rehab money. That's the money to fix the property. So not only are we going to help you buy the property, we're going to help you fix the property as well. And guess what? You get to get all of 100% of the rehab. So if you buy the property for say $100,000, you need $50,000 worth of work, we'll finance the whole $50,000, and you only have to put your down payment on the amount of the contract price or a percentage of the loan to value. This won't affect your DTI because remember, it doesn't show on your personal credit report. It does, and when I say DTI, that's your debt to income ratio. So if you go out to buy another house, do whatever you want to, it's never going to show on your personal credit report unless you default. Now, another good thing about this loan is that you can take what they call draws. These draws are, say, you just getting started on the project. You can't take the whole $50,000 because they inspect it as the work is completed. So as they come out and do the inspections, they reimburse you for the work that's being done to cover the rehab. So then that way you're not paying interest on money that you haven't used yet. So you can take draws on it. Say, because the bridge loan is no credit score, you can get into a bridge loan. That way you can get the property and improve your credit for the next 10 months, refinance it, and get into a conventional loan, or you can get into our 30-year rental loan where you can have a fixed rate for 30 years. Now, a lot of people want to know, is the interest rate high? For no documentation, these rates vary from 3.75 to about 7%. But because they are a riskier loan. So even in like really good times back in like 08, 06, people was getting at those rates on a full documentation loan with tax returns, W-2s, everything. So it's not unheard of to pay those kind of rates now with the interest rates being a little bit under 4%. But you got to think about it. No pay stubs, no tax returns. They're going to underwrite your stuff just like that. You do need, if you're going to use your entity, your LLC or whatever, or you can have a limited partnership. There's different types of entities, but I just keep referring to the LLC because that's the most familiar to most people. But it can be a limited partnership. It can be any kind of entity. Well, you need your operating agreement. And if you don't have an operating agreement because somebody just set it up with the Secretary of State and they didn't give you all your docs, we can get you an operating agreement for a separate fee. You got your articles of organizations because that's what you needed in order to file with the Secretary of State. We can do these loans in all 50 states. And then we'll need your ID, a state issue ID. It could be a passport or your ID or your driver's license, and a authorization to check your credit, and an authorization to charge the appraisal to your credit card. And then you assign a few other waivers and different documents that are loan documents. But for the most part, that is all the documentation. Oh, and I'm sorry, your bank statements, and preferably the last two to show your where your down payment is coming from. And that's like a federal IRS thing that they don't want people doing money laundering. So you do have to show your bank statement. And if you have a large deposit, you do have to show where that money came from, and we can source it. Other than that, it don't have to be any other paper trails. If your mama wants to write you a check for the money and you say this money came from my mama, guess what? We don't need your mama's bank statements. We just look at the canceled check, you're good to go. But if it was more than likely, if it was mattress money, then we'll have to, source it or, tell where it came from in your business. So the bridge loan is good for people that might need to work on their credit, but you don't want to miss a good deal by not being able to buy the property. And you still gonna get a good interest rate. Like right now, we're doing a guy, he has a 550 credit score, and his rate is gonna be about 5.25. He's not providing any tax returns. He's not providing any not bank statements, but he's not any pay stubs. So only thing he's given is his bank statement to show the money that's in the account. Now, if the money has been in the account for more than 60 days, it's what they call already seasoned. So it's just showing that it's there. We don't have to go back and find out how you got it or whatever. But if it's a large current deposit, then we do have to source that. But if it's been in the account for a while because you just been stacking your money, a lot of self-employed people, this is the ideal plan for you if you want to get into real estate investing. And while he improves his credit over the next year, it's not stopping him from getting a property that he wants at a good deal. And remember, the interest rate could offset the deal, because if you're getting a house below value and you get it financed right now rather than missing the deal, then you can come back and refinance it next year when your credit score comes up, and then you can move it into a 30-year rental situation. Or if you need to do work on it, you can refinance it, cash out at the new value, and get a 30-year rental. And we do cash out refinances. People do that a lot. You can research the BRRRR method. A lot of people use that method, and you can actually really come up. So what you can do is get the bridge loan for a year. Say you buy the property at $100,000, you do $50,000 worth of work. Now it's worth $250,000. We can give you up to 90% of the value if you've improved your credit. Now we can give you a loan for approximately $190,000. We give you a loan for $190,000. You just got your down payment money back, your rehab money back, and you got change to go buy another property if you want, or you can ball out with the difference if you want. Another great thing about the bridge loan is that you can do it for 1 year or you can do it for 2 years. There's no difference on the rate. So I advise people to do the 2-year bridge, because even if your time frame comes back a little bit short, you're not under the gun. Or if things don't work out the way you think they should work out, then I would, if they don't work out the way you think, you still got time in case you need that extra time. Okay. When is the next class? I am doing a class in January virtually on Zoom. I will, it'll be a 4-hour class. It's a half day class on Saturday. We will do it and we'll go over the BRRRR method. We'll go more detail as far as financing goes. So let's make sure you're following Bossed Up Academy, because I will do that. I'll be rolling that out in December, so that way you can get in on the early bird special, and hopefully we're going to do it probably towards the end of January, because some people will have gotten more tax money or Christmas money or whatever, so they can actually pay for the class. We also have one-on-one opportunities where I personally work with you one-on-one to help you find deals, help you negotiate deals, and be there every step of the way for you to do that. So if you DM money, we will send you the details on the one-on-one coaching, because a lot of people like that, and we'll meet every week for the first 90 days, and then after the first 90 days, then we'll start meeting on a bi-weekly basis. Now we're getting into the 30-year fixed rental. The great thing about this rental program is when you go to a conventional loan, they only want to give you credit for 75% of the rent collected. For example, if you're collecting $1,000 a month in rent, they only want to give you credit for $750. Well, this program, if your mortgage payment is $1,000 and you're only collecting $1,000 in rent, we will still do the loan. We don't do the 75%. We give you full credit for the entire lease. So that way, if you want to cash out, now you get a payment of $1,000 a month, you put a renter in there. We don't do the percentages. We don't make you go get a second appraisal to find out how much that equity you have in that property. None of that. You can get full credit for the rent that's being collected. Only thing is that you must have the rent to cover the mortgage. You don't have to make a profit. You can break even. So that way, if you can show a lease for $1,000 a month on that property, then you can get a loan where your payment is up to $1,000. I think we got some questions here. There's a secret to the draw press. I like this one better. Awesome. Let's see. I'm trying to. We did with it when we kind of go over that. Hey. So you can do this rental program, and like I said, start investing, no tax returns, and you can close on your first property. And the great thing about this, if you want to buy 5 properties at one time, there is no limit to the number of these loans that you can do. None. Because remember, it doesn't count against your DTI. Nobody's counting your debt to income ratio. We're going strictly off the property, and we're going off of your credit, of course. On the rental loan, though, there is a minimum score on the rental loan. The minimum score on a rental loan is 600. But like I said, that bridge loan can bridge that gap for you until you get your credit scores up. So there's no minimum score there. So if you got a property that you are eyeballing, that you really want, and you got some money, buy it as an investment property. You can work on it, fix it up for a year, work on your credit, refinance it, cash out, and move into it and let it become your primary residence. That's a real house hack. So don't let any deals pass you up. Actually, we have a question here that says, do you offer assistance with the loan process? My office, we are licensed as a broker to do these deals that I'm telling you about. So we will help you every step of the way to make sure that you have what you need in order to get these loans done. So my office, we are a broker for this mortgage company, well, we can do these loans for you in-house. You can have a local person. We'll work with you to get your documents together. Remember, it's very little documents. We're talking like 4 documents. Everything else is going to be generated by the mortgage company for you to sign off on. On the rental one, if you're doing a refi cash out, they just want you to have like 4 months with the payments in your bank account. So if the mortgage payment, we got another deal we're working on now, where they buying a property for $150,000. Their mortgage payment is going to be roughly $700 without any taxes or insurance included. They need to show 4 months worth of reserves. So then they need to show $2,800 in their account. Can they do that? Yes. Do we have to have every little paper trail if the money's been in their account? No. That's the great thing about these loans, is that you can show very minimum, but you do have to have your down payment. And the down payments range based on the credit score. So they don't turn anybody down, but it will, the loan to value comes off of the appraisal. So the appraisal is the key, and we will help you with that process. And like I said, some of them don't always require appraisals. They will take BPOs, which is broker price opinions. That means that appraiser isn't even been called, that they are hiring a real estate agent that knows that area to get the comps together for them on your behalf to tell them how much they should loan. Oh, okay. I need to hear this live. I'm going to leave this video up, so please do feel free to like and share the video. You may be, when we're talking about generational wealth, guess what? This is a grand opportunity. A lot of people says, I don't want to be in debt, but guess what? There's good debt, there's bad debt. If you are using this as an investment and going to leverage yourself, guess what? That's a good debt to have. So know the difference between good debt and bad debt. Also, you need to make sure you have your strategy in place when you get these loans. So that way, if you're going to cash out, I wouldn't say go ball out with all the money. I would reinvest it. So then that way you could possibly have 2 properties paying for 1 loan. And you don't ever have to worry about not being able to make that payment. So use it as leverage. When you use debt for leverage, that's when it becomes good debt. When you have debt that puts you in the struggle, that's bad debt. So know the difference. How can I speak to someone on your team? I'm going to put the link in there. Also, you can text 803-712-4850. And like I said, we can get these loans done for you in less than 30 days. The biggest holdup is appraisals as well as title work. But depending on what areas you're in, we do work with a lot of different title companies. So we are able to get title work back in some of the places faster than others. Hey, Zyda. Let's see, who else said just your business credit is ran, not personal credit? They do run your personal credit just to make sure that if you're signing on behalf of the entity that you're not currently in bankruptcy. And remember, there's no minimum credit score on the bridge loans. There is a minimum credit of 600 on the rental loan, and it will never show on your personal credit report. And it never shows on your business report either, because it's all based on the property. So I hope that kind of clarifies. I'm going to put that in the comment as well. The phone number, 803-712-4850. And I'm also going to put it here on the screen so that you'll have it as well. Gosh. Then also, make sure that if you have any additional questions that you do send them to me. Make sure that you DM me money if you're interested in one-on-one investing. DM me your name, your email address, and your phone number. I'll send you a summary of these different types of loans and get you on your path to investments. And remember, we can do these loans in all 50 states. All 50 states, these loans can do. If you we do have a question. If you have a discharge bankruptcy, as long as you're not in an active bankruptcy, you can be one day out of bankruptcy, but as long as you are not in bankruptcy actively. Also, this is a great way. A lot of people are getting Airbnbs. This is a great way to get an Airbnb. This is a great way to finance your Airbnbs. So if you're thinking about getting into the Airbnb business, I would highly encourage you to look at some of these loans. And once you start getting a lot of properties and different things, the time that it takes to get your pay stubs together, to get your tax returns together, them to tell you about your DTI, nobody wants to do all that. And especially if you're self-employed, then if you go through a full documentation loan, they not only want you to get your tax returns, they want your bank statements, and they want you to show a P&L statement, year to date, and all this kind of stuff. Who has time for that? Yes, the rate might be 1 or 2% difference, which equals out maybe $100 difference on payment. So is the hassle worth it? Also, remember, you can do 5 of these loans at one time. You can do 10 of them. There's no cap to the number of ones you can do. As much as you can find deals, we'll finance them. There is a minimum on the rental part. It's a minimum of $100,000. On the bridge, it is $75,000. But if you join my coaching, guess what? I'll teach you how to work that so that way you can get multiple properties even if they're under $100,000. Also, we do have special financing where if they're under $100,000, we'll look at those deals too, where we can run them in a different, we can run them with a different company. So, and we do have help with mobile homes, but the programs that I'm generally talking about tonight are for single family and multifamily properties. So I do encourage you to, I'm going to put the link up at the top, but I wanted people to kind of listen to what I was saying before they started just filling out the application. If you do have a deal that's cooking right now, send it to us. Let us do it. I promise you'll be more than satisfied. Because guess what? I use our same company that I broker with. I use them to finance my deals. So I know we can get them done. It's not going to be, next week, next month, next year. I done been through that where people just lie to you. They don't know how to get the loan done. They can't get the loan done. I do several of these loans, not only for other people, but for myself. So like I said, no difference between good debt, bad debt. Good debt creates leverage. Don't let people fool you and talk you into something. And remember, don't let people that know nothing about nothing tell you what you should be doing. This is a great way to get started in investing, and I'll be glad to help you get on that path. Also, we do have another part that if you need help with, showing the reserves or some of the down payment, we do have alternate financing that we offer to people depending on the deal, because remember, it's all property driven. So there are ways that we can get these deals done for you. I'm sure if you send us a deal, I'm almost 99.9% sure that if you follow the parameters that I've given here tonight on this video, that we will have you owning a property in the next 30 days or less. Again, like and share this video, and you may be starting somebody onto their path of generational wealth by helping them jumpstart their real estate career, because some people need financing for leverage.